Welcome to the Pyramyd Insider. I'm Tyler Patner. Today we're going to be taking a look at the BSA R-10 SE in .22 caliber. So we have the .22 R-10 SE here today. It's also available in .177 caliber for those of you looking as well. But just a little bit about me real quick. I'm a big BSA fanboy. Like, I'm just going to be upfront with you guys. There may be a little bit of bias in this review, largely because I've owned an R10 before. So I've owned actually most of the guns in the modern BSA line, and I'm just a huge fan of their designs, the looks of the guns. So please understand that going in. But let's take a look at some of the features of the gun. So starting at the front of the gun, probably the biggest change on the R10 SE from the R10 Mark II is the new shroud system. Now this is a fixed shroud and suppressor on the end here. Big change, it was just a full shroud system, just one piece unit, the length of the gun, but this new moderator, they're claiming it's half the noise level of the Mark II. And I just tell you guys from the initial testing, I would agree with that statement. I don't know exactly what half is, but I can tell you it's definitely quieter than the Mark II. And of course, under the shroud is the BSA cold hammer forged barrel. These barrels are world renowned as being some of the most accurate out there. They will stand up to Lothar Walther, Green Mountain, I mean, any of the big barrel manufacturers. BSA's cold hammer forge set a very, very high standard, so I'm expecting this gun to be very accurate. And under the barrel and shroud setup, we have a 200cc bottle, nice small profile, doesn't add too much weight to the gun overall. Really like the size of the bottle, and that connects right to our regulator. Now, the R10 has always been a regulated platform, but the SE has a new regulator design that BSA is claiming boasts 25% more shots. Now, whether they mean more shots in general in terms of the whole fill, or if they mean more regulated shots, I would assume that's what they mean. Obviously, we're going to chronograph the gun and see just how efficient and how many shots it's going to give you guys. And underneath to track that, we do have a gauge here, and there is also a fill port here. Now, it does come with a standard 1/8 BSPP threaded probe. Important to note that if you are going to have a quick disconnect setup on the end of your hose, you're going to want to get that quick disconnect adapter, and that just plugs right into the end of the hole here. Now, one of the things that BSA has done on the SE version that they didn't do in the past is provide a little fill port plug so you can keep dust and debris out, and I really like this upgrade. It's a small little thing that is a value added, in my opinion, on any gun, and one I would like to see from pretty much any manufacturer that uses a fill probe. You'll also notice we have front and rear swivel studs, so if you want to mount a bipod on that front one, or you can go ahead and mount a sling up to that, up to you, of course, you don't have to use them at all. And you'll notice immediately, nice walnut stock. I mean, this is just, this is a sexy gun. I think it's a sexy gun, at least. You got the rosewood cap here on the end at the bottle. You got the rosewood grip, you know, on the bottom of the grip there. It's just, Manelli makes this stock for BSA. It's a gorgeous stock, and really, I mean, this is what you're looking for when you're looking into that $1,000 plus price range. You know, it's got to have some good looks, and I really, really like it. Some people might say this is like an aggressive looking stock. You know, the lines on it, the checkering, all that, but I love it. That's just me again, but your mileage is going to vary, but really nice walnut stock on this gun. And moving up to the breech block, you notice we have our breech opening there for our magazine. Now the gun does come with 2 magazines. That's a first for BSA. And one thing I do want to point out on these mags, you'll see this little white dot in the hole right here. Now that's actually going to let you know that you're out of rounds and empty. That's important. The magazine is also numbered on top to tell you how many shots you have left, but that white dot is what lets you know that it's empty after you load that last round, and that's really helpful in the field. So loading the magazine in is quite simple. You just go ahead and slide it into the open breech, and obviously you have to pull the bolt back. You'll feel it lock into place because there's a little hole on the other side that it protrudes through, and it just locks in nicely. Now to keep that secured, BSA makes you flip this little lever guy back and really lock that mag in place. So now even with the bolt open, you can't pull it out, and that's going to keep it nice and secure. Make sure you don't lose it when you're hunting, target shooting, whatever you might be doing. So wanted to show you guys also real quick this trigger, really nice trigger unit. Now it's a little heavy for my liking. We're going to flip the hunter style safety off, and I'll just decock it for you guys so you can see. But a very long take up. That's all first stage there, and that's a lot. I was not expecting that. So personally, if it were me, I'm going to adjust that out, but very clean break right there. So I really like the way it breaks, the way it feels. It's maybe a little on the heavy side for what a gun like this, in my opinion, should be, but of course it's fully adjustable, and this is just out of the box to give you guys an idea of how it's going to come to you. And on top of the breech, we have an 11mm dovetail for mounting your optics. And we've gone ahead and mounted a Hawk Air Max 30 here, the 4-16 to be exact. We've used it a lot here on the Insider. It's a scope I'm a big fan of, which is why I mounted it up here. And overall, gun comes into the shoulder really nicely. One thing I want to point out though is that they did also upgrade the butt pad on this one. It was formerly just vertically adjustable. Now you have that horizontal adjustment as well, so really nice feature. I found that I didn't really have to adjust it for myself. You know, you got this raised cheek piece that brings you right into the line of sight with the scope. It's a really nice feeling rifle in my opinion, just about 7.5 pounds or so. And you even got a nice little cutout here on the grip for a more thumb up position, which I'm a big fan of as well, as opposed to wrapping it around. So overall, really like the way this gun feels. We're gonna go get it gassed up to the fill pressure 232 bar, go put some rounds down range at 45 yards, see how she does. Alright guys, so we opted to do all the testing just straight at 45 yards. With a gun like this, you know, in that $1,000 price range, there's no reason to go any closer. And we went with 10 shot groups, so they're a little bit bigger than usual, but you know, you got the JSB 18s right about an inch for 10 shots at 45. Not bad. I expected a little bit better, as a lot of the BSAs I've owned in the past usually like those JSB 18s, but this gun didn't happen to. Surprise one for me, the Crosman Ultra Mags, 10 shots at about an inch as well. Quite good for a relatively inexpensive pellet. And then when we got into the better shooting stuff, the Predator GTOs, again, another gun that's just super surprising. You know, at under 12 grains, this guy's flying pretty quick, and a 5/8 10 shot group. I mean, this gun laces them in there nicely, and very impressive. But if I was gonna pick a pellet, the Beeman Kodiaks, it's still a 5/8 group for 10 shots, but give you that little bit of extra knockdown power and a little bit heavier weight. Now, with those and the GTOs, we're gonna take both of them, throw them over the chronograph, and also do sound testing with both, see how much of a difference there is. Let's check it out. Looking over our shot strings here, you can see immediately that we're doing a fair number of shots, right around 45 or 50. And I can tell you guys just from experience that the Mark II version of the R10 was only doing about 35 good shots. So, you know, looking this over, we do have some pretty flat strings here, a little bit wider standard deviation on the Kodiaks, as well as a larger extreme spread, but not by much. Certainly good enough to give you pinpoint accuracy out to about 50 yards, and probably even further than that. So definitely some nice tight shot strings out of the R10 SE. Well guys, I'd like to think you can see why I'm a BSA fanboy. You got the supreme accuracy, you know, 5/8 groups at 45 yards with a couple different pellets. Really phenomenal shooting, you know, nice trigger, brakes super clean, and obviously fully adjustable. Take out some of that take up, or at least I would. The new regulator seems to be doing its job, right around 45 good shots, 45 to 50 depending on the pellet used there. So you're getting quite a few more shots, about 8 to 10 more than you were on the previous version on the Mark II. So the SE's definitely got a lot going for it, and obviously the new shroud system is much quieter and super backyard friendly. I definitely recommend checking this one out, guys. If you're looking for a new high-end addition to your airgun collection, the R10 SE should be at the top of that list. So give it a look on PyramydAir.com. For the insider, Tyler Patner. We'll see you guys at the next one. So comfy.